Don't know who wants to go first, but this is going to be so stinking good. So Heather, do you want to kick us off? I'm just going to unmute you. Will you tell us a little bit first about your story, how you found out about this business, and what it has done for your life?
Absolutely. And I just want to say thank you so much for asking me to be on. I'm so excited. I absolutely adore you. So this is going to be fun. Wow. Okay. So I have been in the business. June's going to be 3 years. And I was one of those people that it took me almost a year to say yes to this. Like, if you guys were hesitant to jump into this, like, drop a number one in the chat. I did not think I would ever do something like this. It didn't seem appealing to me. It was just like the furthest thing from anything I ever saw myself doing. And I didn't think I really needed something like this. I know we hear a lot of stories about people that, they came into this for financial reasons, and that is ultimately why I joined. But in the moment when the opportunity first presented itself to me, I didn't think things were that bad. I had a good career. I was working full time as a dental hygienist. And it wasn't that I wasn't making good money. It's just that I wanted more. I started realizing that, I was about 4 years into my career and I was maxed out at the amount of money I could make. And there was so much more that I wanted to do with my life. And I just remember feeling stuck. I remember thinking, like, well, I guess this is it. Like, I'm never going to make any more money. My student loan debt was through the roof. I was a 9-year college student because I never really knew what I wanted to do. It took me a little while to figure it out. And so here I am thinking, I'm not going to make any more money. I have all of this debt that's not going to just disappear. I have a heart and a passion for traveling. And I just felt like I wasn't living the life I thought I would be after 9 years of college. My parents always told me, go to school, get the degree, and you'll have it made. You'll be able to do all the things you want to do. And that just wasn't my reality. I was living back home at 28 years old. I was, getting 1 week of vacation a year, being denied raises, and I just wanted more. And so this opportunity, like I said, when it first presented itself, I didn't know that this was going to be the opportunity to give me more. I looked at it as a scam. I just didn't think people like me could be successful in something like this until I saw somebody that I knew from high school take her journey. And it took me seeing her become successful before I believed that I could. And so I watched her journey unfold for about 11 months. And month 12, I finally said, all right, what do I have to lose? Like, she was onto something. She was doing all the things that I wanted to do. She was working from the beach. She had retired from her job. And, I was like, okay, worst case scenario, it doesn't work. I'm going to be right back where I started. And so I jumped in terrified, not knowing how to do anything. I'd never done anything like this before, but I just trusted the process and was coachable.
I love that. That's the thing, is like, you don't have to have any experience. You don't have to know what you're doing. You don't have to even join this business being like, this is something I've always wanted to do. You just have to be coachable and decide that, you know what, this business is something that I can put apply my energy to, and decide that I'm going to be, good at this, and that you're worth more. And if you put in that effort, we can teach you how to do the rest. We can't teach you how to want this. We can't teach you that stuff, but we can teach you how to do it as long as you're willing to put in the work. So that is so good. Okay. So Mama B, I am going to unmute you, and will you just tell us a little bit about your story and how you found out about the business?
Hey, you guys. Hey, Morgan. Thank you so much for inviting me. Gosh, I have to pinch myself just to think that someone of your level in this company, that you would even want me on your team Zoom. Like, I just.
Oh my gosh, of course we do. You were asked by name to be on the Zoom. So you are worth it, girl. You are so above, being here right now. Like this, you are meant to be here. So I'm glad that you are here.
So you all just heard from my daughter. Heather is actually my daughter. And it's funny, when people ask me, how I got started in this business, and, Heather's my daughter, y'all. And I didn't even join right away when she signed up, and she's my flesh and blood. I gave birth to her, and it took me 7 months to join her business. But let me tell you, the reason I joined this business, if you weren't at conference, and a lot of y'all might be new, I've shared my story many, many times, and I might get emotional, and I'm sorry if I do, but you know, when you feel your story and you've lived it, it does bring back emotions every time you talk about it. Okay. But so back in 2016, I was 56 years old, and I found myself going through a divorce. My marriage was ending, and it literally crushed me, you guys. It was very devastating. My kids watched as their mom just became, y'all, I can't even describe the brokenness that came from my marriage ending. It was, you know, my daughter and my son got a call. And I remember my daughter rushing from Maryland down to North Carolina. They thought I had had a stroke. My stress level was through the roof. I was at my most unhealthiest weight ever. I got very depressed. And I don't know if any of y'all can relate, but you know, depression can cause you to eat more, and depression can take a really wreak havoc on your body, mentally, physically, everything. And I remember I drove a truck for 20 years, you guys. In case you don't know, I was a tractor trailer driver for 20 years. I know a lot of y'all are probably going to say, no, she never drove a truck. I did. I drove a truck for 20 years. And when I first found out that my marriage was ending, I remember picking up the phone. I was at a truck stop in Wyoming all by myself in a truck. And I remember calling Heather on the phone. And guys, had she not answered the phone that night, I don't even know if I would be here today, because I was ready to take my life that night. That's how broken I was. And let me tell you, from a mama to ever even say those words to one of her children, like, I think back now, like, how could I have even spoke those words to her? How could I have even said that I didn't want to live because my marriage was ending when I had two wonderful children to live for? But when you're broken, you guys. And I will tell you, the fact that my daughter joined this business, and I said it on stage and I acknowledged her on stage, my daughter saved my life. Not only mentally, but physically. You know, I've lost 80 pounds using these products. She saw a mom that had to be hospitalized because they thought I had had a stroke, to getting my blood pressure normal, dropping 80 pounds. And she saw a mom that her life came back, like life got breathed back inside of me. And I was realizing I was worthy. Like, that divorce didn't define me. Like, I'm worthy of so much more. And, you know, every single day when I share my story and someone messages me and says, you're showing me that I can go on, there's not a day I don't want to not share my story, because that could be the one day that I am the person that God is using as a tool to reach that person that maybe is getting ready to take their life, that they feel hopeless. But I decide I don't want to share my story that day. Your story matters, you guys. You don't have my story. You might not have my story. Maybe you do, but you have a story, and God wants to use your story to change someone else's life out there. It's not my story that's going to change that person's life. It's your story. So I just encourage each of you, embrace your story, and know that you're not on this Zoom by chance. You're not in this business by chance. You were brought here and given a purpose. And if you just embrace that, guys, there's nothing you can't do. And I'm just happy I'm on here with you guys.
Well, we are happy that you are here too. Thank you for sharing your story. I know that you love sharing your story, but I'm sure it can't always be easy to relive that over and over again. So thank you for being vulnerable. You're touching so many people. I don't know if you're seeing the chat, but people are like, oh my gosh, I can relate to that. Like, so many people in different ways, you know, can relate to both of your stories. And so I super appreciate y'all sharing that. So I want to just ask a couple of questions, and I'll kind of go back and forth, or if one of you wants to like speak up or whatever, I don't know like how y'all want to do this, it's totally fine, whatever. But my question is, how do you blend this into your busy life? So whoever, I can unmute both of you, and so just whoever wants to go first. Unless y'all are yellow, then I can pick.
Hey, Mama will talk all day if you let her. So I'll jump in before she takes the mic.
Good.
So I will tell you that this was probably one of the biggest challenges for me because, starting off, like I said, I was working full time as a dental hygienist, and I couldn't be on my phone. I worked full time up until the point that I went double diamond. And so for me, a normal day looked like, getting up at 6 a.m. in the car by 6:45 at the latest. I had about an hour to hour and a half commute to my job. So I was getting to work at between 8 and 8:30, and then with patients, I couldn't be on my phone other than, when I was on my lunch break. If I had, a minute here or there, I will tell you, I got to a point in my business where I was taking maybe more restroom breaks than I normally would, so I could sneak in and get on my phone for a minute or two. But I had to figure out I had to figure out a schedule for myself. I knew that when I made a decision on where I wanted to go and what I wanted this business to do for me, I knew that I needed to show up and work it every single day. So I had to identify first what were the things I needed to accomplish every single day to move my business forward. If that was growing my network, if that was, making posts on social media, if that was sending messages to people, doing follow-ups, self-development, like the key things that I knew I needed to do every single day. And then I had to kind of just break down and say, okay, so what windows, like what pockets of time do I have where I can slip this in? And so for me, that looked like getting up, 10, 15 minutes earlier so that I could do my friend request and I could do that first post for the morning, which a lot of times, you guys, I pre-prepped that post the night before. I didn't want to be scrambling in the morning thinking, okay, what do I want to post? Like, I know I'm not the only one who sits down to make a post and you're like, oh wait, how do I want to word this? What do I want to say? I don't even know what I'm trying to post right now. And so I would eliminate that struggle in the morning by just getting the post ready the night before. I'd send out my friend request, and then on my way to work, rather than just jamming out to the radio, which I love to do, I was intentional with that time. And that's when I started doing self-development. I started listening to podcasts or books on Audible. And then on my lunch break, when I got that break, that's when I would do my next post for the day, and I would send out my messages for the day. That way, when I got off work, I could have, responses for messages. I would do voice memos a lot because I was in the car again, sitting in traffic. And voice memos, you guys, I'm telling you, changed my business. I lived with my thumbs the first probably 8 months or so of my business, 7 or 8 months. And when I discovered doing voice memo, even though my voice shook and I didn't always say the right thing. Sometimes I'm sending a voice memo while I'm driving in traffic and somebody cuts me off and you're like, saying something you might not want to say, but it made me relatable. It made me human. People were able to hear my heart and hear my excitement and my emotion. And so I really love that brought out voice memos with me. And so like I said, I found times. You would be amazed if you really sat down and mapped out your day. For so many people that say, well, I don't have time, you'd be surprised how many areas you find 2 or 5 minutes that you're really not even realizing that you're overlooking them. And at the end of the day, you do have these pockets of time. So figure out what your day looks like, figure out what your non-negotiables are, and then see where you can fit them in through your day. I will say too that, I had to make some sacrifices. I would love to come home in the evening and, after dinner, kick up and turn Netflix on or watch a show with my fiance. And I had to be willing to sacrifice temporarily to do the work so that eventually I could have all the time. I was able to retire from my job. So the sacrifices were temporary, but I had to say no to happy hours after work so I could come home and work my business. And I'm not saying that I said no to everything, but you do have to be willing to say no to some things now so that you can say yes more later. And so I think that was huge. Communicating with my family, letting them know what I was working towards and that I might need some help. Like my fiance knew that I might need help cooking dinner some nights. I have meetings or I have calls that I need to make. I might need you to do dinner tonight. We don't have children, so I don't really know how that falls in with some people, but I would say communication is just super important and just making it a priority. Like when I made a decision and knew that this business was a priority to me, like you make time for the things that are important to you.
Mic drop. You make time for the things that are important to you. That is so good, because you say that you don't have time for this and this and this, but you make time for the things. Like if you go back and you think about everything that you did today, that's what's important to you. Was this business part of your day? And obviously you're here now, so this business means something to you. But remember that Zooms don't make you money. They end up helping you make money if you do what they say, but you have to put in the effort every single day. Hopping on this Zoom alone doesn't actually make you money. So making sure that you're taking these tips and applying them. So do what Heather did. Maybe your day looks like hers and you're so busy, or like hers used to, and you're so busy and you wake up 15 minutes early and you do a couple of things, and then you're on a lunch break and you do a couple things. You run to the bathroom, you respond to messages. Y'all, some of you just joined this business and you only see me right now how I am, but what you don't see is that I joined this business when I was working 65 hours a week and going to school full time, and people thought I had a bladder problem at work because I was in the bathroom like every 10 minutes trying to go diamond and respond back to people. I was like, gotta go to the bathroom. Finally got upgraded to assistant manager, so I didn't have to ask for the keys to the bathroom every time I had to go. So now I was like always in the bathroom, just responding to people, answering messages. But you have to do what you have to do. And it allowed me to have the freedom, because I said no to the little things then. I get to say yes to the big things now. Because I said no to the happy hours, like Heather said, we get to say yes to paying off debt. We say no to eating ice cream and binging Netflix, and we say yes to working out and working our business. And we get to say yes to paying off debt, being able to stay at home with our kids, or for me and Heather, for our no kids or our fur kids. And we get to be healthier, and we get to be the best version of ourselves because we say no to the little things now. We get to say, and we get to say yes to the big things later. It's so important. And whatever that looks like for you, maybe it's for me, I like to do an hour and get everything done and then reply to people throughout the day and do little stories throughout the day. But if that's not you, if you're like, I don't have an hour straight at one time because I have kids or whatever, 10 minutes here, 15 minutes here, 5 minutes there. When you go to the bathroom, like you have to find that time because you do have it, but sometimes you have to make it and you have to like actually plan it out, right? Okay, so what about you, Mama B?
So my life looks a whole lot different right now. But so I'm going to talk about when I started this business. I told you all, when I told you my story, I was driving a tractor trailer, an 18-wheeler down the road. I drove 70 hours a week. Y'all, I'm 58 years old. When I started this business, I was 56. Most of y'all, I looked through the pictures to see who was on here. Most of y'all are some youngins on here. Y'all are like my daughter's age. So y'all should have a whole lot more energy than what this 58-year-old woman has. And I made a joke on stage at conference. I said, if you don't have enough energy, y'all need to be drinking more coffee then, or buying some keto energy from the company. Y'all need a little bit more energy or a little more pick up in your step. Okay, so I was driving 70 hours a week. Y'all, I couldn't text driving an 18-wheeler down the road. And I wasn't really good. I had a Bluetooth, but you know, I'm grinding gears and, you know, I got to kind of concentrate when I'm driving down the road. So I wasn't able to really work my business while I was driving. But it's like Heather said, when it's important to you, you will find the time. And I'm going to tell you, every morning I got up at every truck stop across America. I went in to make my coffee, and I made the most of making my coffee. I did a Facebook Live from every darn truck stop at the coffee island, talking with my phone propped up on the napkin dispenser, and truck drivers looking at me like I was a crazy woman. But I'm going to tell you, y'all want to get some customers, go start selling at truck stops, because every truck driver out there drinks coffee, and y'all, pretty much 80% of them are overweight and unhealthy, because that's all we do is sit and drive, sit and drive. That's it. So I did my Facebook Lives. I took advantage of the opportunity when I was making my coffee to share with everyone, I'm making my coffee again today. I'm making my coffee again today. And I was sharing my progress, my results. My first month, I lost 20 pounds. I was so loud about that. Guys, I'm going to tell you the one way you're going to build your business. If you're not doing it right now, you better become a product of these products. Because if you came to me and asked me to buy your coffee and I said, are you drinking it? And you said, well, no, I don't use these products. Do you really think I'm going to buy anything from you if you aren't even willing to buy the products? If you want to build your business, you got to be a product of the products. If you don't need to lose weight, there's something we sell that you need to use, that you need to run your ADBV auto ship. And I don't want to get off on a tangent. Heather's like, man, mom, like, get back on track, mom. I know she's saying that right now. So anyway, you guys, you've got to make use of your time. When I would shut my truck down at nighttime before I went to bed, y'all, I did a Facebook Live. I got people involved in my journey. I said in August, I said in 100 days, I'm going to be off this truck. I proclaimed it from the bed of my truck. I made a calendar that said 100 days on it. Every single night I shut that truck down. I had a red magic marker. I did a Facebook Live. I had people jumping on to root me on and say, one more day, she's marking one more day off. And in 100 days, I got out of that truck, you guys. I signed up in February of 2000, the end of February 22nd of 2018. I retired in 10 months doing this business. And in 14 months, I went triple diamond. You guys, if I can do that I didn't know anything, you guys. I am not like, I'm very technologically challenged. I am trying to learn Instagram. I did one TikTok video and I'm trying, y'all. I put a darn lime green tutu on and did Dancing Queen and was dancing. I've done one. I'm gonna figure out how to do that darn TikTok. But anyway, you got to make use of your time, you guys. Choose your hard. Is your life right now hard? If it is, then it might get a little harder while you're trying to fit this business in, but you've got to choose your heart. Do you want your life to stay the same? If you want change and you change nothing, nothing is going to change. If you want change and you change nothing, nothing is going to change. You have to decide. You have to be conscious of that and say, I'm worthy of more. And I want to help more people realize they're worthy of more. When you get your why, you will make time. When you know your why, when you figure out why you joined this business, you will come up with the time. That's just the bottom line. When it's important to you to make a change, you will figure the way. You're asking the wrong question. You just have to know your why, you guys. That's all you need to do.
Woo! Girl, take us to church. That was so good. Okay. I just like wrote down notes of like things I want to like hit again of what you said. She said you're asking the wrong question. You're trying to figure out how, but all you need to know is why. If you know your why, it's going to drive you and push you. So you don't have to know how it's going to happen. You're just going to figure it out. The rest of that flows from knowing why you want this business. And guys, I'm just going to be honest with you right now. If you're thinking, I want this business because I want $500 a month, you have to be more specific. You have to get deeper than that. If it is about an amount of money for you, let me tell you this, and this is what Cammie says, and this is the best example I've ever heard. She said, if you join this business, and she said, I joined for $2,000 a month. She said, if I could do that, then I would be able to replace my full-time income. She said, if I didn't feel like doing this business, I'd give up on that $2,000 a month. I'd give up on that amount of money. But when I remembered I was doing it for my kids, I will never give up on my kids. That's the difference. It can be $2,000 a month, but you have to know why. Why $2,000 a month? What is that going to do for you? Why $500 a month? And it has to be something that makes you emotional. If you're on my team, you're like, I never cry. So I don't mean like literally like emotional. I mean like you have to have something that you feel. It fuels you. And whenever you think about it, it makes you want to jump up and do something about it. That's your why. not $500 a month. So I want to be extremely clear about that, because I think that's where people get confused. And so I love what she said too. She said, you're worthy of more. So I want every single person in the chat to write, I'm worthy of more. Because you need to say it, and not just right now. I want you to wake up in the morning and say it again. I'm worthy of more. I'm worthy of more. You may not believe it right now, but Mama B said it over and over and over again, and I bet she believes it now. She may not have believed it whenever she said it. Going through a divorce, a truck driver, all of these things that she had going on in her life at the time, maybe she didn't really believe that. Maybe that's you right now, but say it enough and you'll believe that it's true. Because your brain doesn't understand the difference between your spoken reality and your physical reality. So speak it, and so you will become, right? And so she said, choose your hard. That is so good. You get to pick your hard. You inspire me so much. You're like out here doing TikTok. There are some 20-year-olds on this Zoom who have not done a TikTok. You go, girl. That is
I did one. Morgan, I did one. I've only done one.
But you did it. But you did it. And that's the point. I love that so much. It starts with one. It starts with one. Like, you went out there and you did it because you did it once. So now you'll go do it again. Like, I know that that's where it starts. So I'm so proud of you for getting out there and doing that. Even if it wasn't even about the business, you did it. You're getting yourself out there, and you're just like, I don't care how old I am. I don't care where I come from. I don't care what my background is. I don't care about any of that. I'm going to do this. So that makes me so excited. Also, I never noticed your tangents, because that's totally me too. But I love what you said about being a product of the product. And you were going off on the ADBV auto ship. I was like, yes. And you were like, okay, I need to go back. I was like, wait, what was the question? But I love what you said about the auto shipment and becoming a product of the product. Guys, if you're somebody who you're like, I literally cannot sign a customer. Number one, watch how you're speaking over yourself. Number two, when is the last time you used the products consistently for 30 days? There is your answer, probably. Or you're not talking to enough people or talking about the products when you're using them. Okay, because if you post your Insta story every single day with a poll about you making the skinny brew or the keto coffee in a different way, and like she said, you don't have to want to lose weight, guys. That's not all the products that we have. If you haven't noticed, we have a full entire skincare line. We have hair, skin, and nails. If you don't want to lose weight, you can still use the keto coffee and get the benefits of the nootropics, the collagen, the energy, the fullness, so that you don't eat and snack during the day. So you can use these products. Be sure you're doing that. Make that a priority for yourself. Okay, let me go back to the questions. Okay, so I'll start with Heather again. So how do you push past doubt and discouragement? So I am going to unmute you, but before I do, will everybody put a 2 in the chat if you've ever felt discouraged or doubt? And it doesn't have to be right now, but just ever, because I want you to know you're not alone. Like, that's something that's so normal in this business, and some people feel guilty for that, and that's not where I want you to be. I want you to feel like, you know what, I feel doubt and I feel discouraged. The point isn't that you feel it, it's that you push past that. So how do you do that, Heather?
I love that you say that. That was literally the first thing that I wrote down, is that understand that this is normal. We all feel it at some point, and I still feel it even now, almost 3 years in. And with every new level, with every new, goal that I'm going towards, I have that, fear of, well, what if I fail? Or I have that doubt of, am I capable? Or I get discouraged when it doesn't happen in my time. And so this is such a complex question, because I feel like there's just so many different areas in my journey where this has happened, and it hasn't all stemmed from one particular thing. But what I do know, what I've learned, that if you can identify what it is that's making you fearful, or that's making you discouraged, or making you doubt, like, when you can define it, you can defeat it. And I have really learned that sometimes I'm a dominant blue. I don't know if you guys do colors, but I'm a dominant blue. And so we are always all up in our feelings and our thoughts. And I never understood that until I understood my color, and that's just my makeup. That's who I am. That's how I operate. And so when I could start identifying it and defining that, I could defeat it. So when those moments come where I'm feeling discouraged, or I'm feeling nervous, or I can say, you know what, I can take a step back and say, I blame it on my blue. I blame it on my blue all the time. I'm like, it's just a feeling. How can we overcome this? What are you really afraid of? And so I have a couple of things here. one thing that I will say, and we kind of touched on this, and Morgan, you were talking about this, the law of attraction. I feel like sometimes, like when I get in this place of like discouragement and fear and doubt, like I don't realize the words that I'm speaking over myself when I say, what if it doesn't work out, or what if I don't promote, or what if I don't get a distributor, or I'm trying and I can't get a distributor, or I can't get any customers. And I watched very early on in my business, I think this was right around the time that I was Ruby. I watched, if you guys have never watched it, The Secret on Netflix. This was like a pivotal moment for me. I never realized how powerful, like what I was putting out into the universe, what I was speaking, what I was thinking was like bringing back to me. And so if you've never watched it, I highly encourage that. And another one I just want to drop too. When I made the jump from Ruby to Diamond, I remember hearing Denise Walsh say that she had listened to The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale on YouTube. And she said that she did that every morning for 30 days straight. And I said, okay, well, she's somebody that I aspire to be. And like, if I want to get to where she's at, like maybe I need to implement something that she's done. And so I did that every single day for 30 days straight. I will tell you, he's an elderly man. So I would listen to it on YouTube in my drive to work. I would speed it up to like 1.5 so it went a little quicker every single morning for 30 days straight. And that's the month that I went from Ruby to Diamond. And so self-development and mindset, I will tell you, first and foremost, like mindset is everything. If you're not implementing self-development, if you're not pouring into yourself, you are going to struggle more with overcoming those fears, those doubts, and those discouraging moments. But they're going to happen. You are going to get discouraged. You are going to fail. Failing is not a bad thing. Okay. I had to realize that too, that like now when I'm like failing or falling down, it still doesn't feel good, but I'm like, oh, I'm getting close. Like if I'm like, I'm so close to the breakthrough, like you're going to have the breakdown before you have the breakthrough. So a couple of examples that I had here is, for me, like I said, I'm a blue. And when I first started, the biggest thing for me is I feared people's judgment. If you guys have ever feared putting yourself out there with a post or a Facebook Live because what are they going to think, right? Like drop a number 2 in the comments. Like I lived in that place, and you guys, I almost got stuck there. And the only person that was stopping me from moving beyond that was just me. It was my thoughts and my feelings. And so I was able to identify that, again, remember, if I can define it, I can defeat it. And so I had to really think about, what am I really scared of? I was scared of the judgment. I was scared of people laughing at me, making fun of me. I was scared of failing. And so then I had to be able to define it so I could defeat it. And when I figured that out, it was, who cares about their judgment or their opinions? Are they paying to take me on the vacations I want to go on? No. Are they paying off my student loan debt? No. Who really cares about their opinions? Like I had to prove it not just to them, but to myself. Like I'm going to prove them wrong. And so I struggle with that a lot. And again, it was just a mindset from self-development. I realized that, how many of you guys fear messaging people because you're scared of the rejection, you're scared of the no, you're scared of being ghosted. Like I lived there too, and I felt like I was bugging people. And when I just switched my mindset to, it's not bugging people. Like if you didn't hear my mother's story, like when you have that happen for somebody who partners with you on your team, it doesn't have to be your mom, it could be a complete stranger, and you get that message for the first time that, oh my gosh, I was just able to put food on the table for my babies because of this business, or I was just able to pay off my first credit card, or I've been able to walk away from my job. When you realize that you have a platform to bless people, you're not bugging them by messaging them. You are blessing them with an opportunity to be able to change their life. And so again, it was just a shift in mindset. Feeling discouraged, I just wrote down, you guys, I had a moment where I fell short, and it was the first time in my business and probably the only time that I really considered quitting. I was 9 months in. I was a Ruby. I went to my first conference. If you guys haven't been to a conference, like plan on going to conference next year. It absolutely changed my vision for not just this company, but for where I wanted to go in my life. And so I came out of conference super, super fired up, and I was like, I was Ruby. I said I was going to go Emerald. I got so loud about it. The company had announced a $5,000 bonus if you went Emerald for the first time. I was doing Facebook Lives. I was messaging everybody I knew. I was doing all the things. But somewhere underlying, I doubted that it was going to happen. And I tell people all the time, if your thoughts, your words, and your actions aren't aligned, you are going to be hindered. If you're speaking it and you're saying it and you're saying it and you're saying it and you're taking action, you're doing all the things, but in your head, you're doubting it's going to happen, you're right. It's not going to happen. And so you have to be in alignment with all those things. And the point is, I fell short. I did not hit the promotion at the end of the month, even though I had talked about it every single day, the entire month of February. And I remember just thinking the month ended and I was just bawling and I fell short. And I was like, how do I get back up from this? How do I face my network and say, well, it didn't happen? I felt like I had failed, not just myself, but everybody who had been watching me. And I was so embarrassed. And you guys might reach a moment in your business where this happens to you. And I want to tell you, don't you dare, like, quitting should not even be an option. Like, you get back up. And because I got back up, thanks to amazing leadership that I had in my team and my upline, I got back up and I came out March 1st and I just owned it. I said, listen, I fell short and it hurt, but I'm going to show you that you don't quit, because so many people, I didn't want to be the 85% of people that quit. Nobody's successful, that you don't get there that way. And so I wanted to show them that just because it didn't happen when I wanted it to, I'm going to keep going and it's going to happen. And not only did I go emerald that month, but I went diamond, and people were partnering with me when I was thinking, man, nobody's going to partner with me because I failed. I didn't reach my goal. Who's going to want to partner with me now? They partnered with me. Number one reason they told me when I asked them, because they didn't quit on myself. They knew I would not quit on them. You guys, like, quitting should not be an option in this business. You will get to where you want to go if you do not quit. I 100% guarantee it. I think that's pretty much all I have for that. Sorry, I don't want to ramble on too much.
No, you're good. That was so perfect. I love that you said, like, people partnered with you because they said you didn't quit on yourself. I know you won't quit on me. And that's what I'm trying to, like, I hope that y'all understand that, like, you're going to sign these people when they see that you go through these hard times, that you're sticking it out for a year, for 2 years, for 5.5 years, for almost 3 years, right? And the longer that you're doing this, the more they're going to be like, wow, okay, there's something really to this, you know, and being consistent for those 3 years. But you're going to have those doubts. You're going to have discouragements. I love that you said you have the breakdown before you have the breakthrough. And then you said, if you can define it, you can defeat it. So those are 2 things I wrote down, and I will be posting those as Facebook statuses soon. So thank you for that. Okay, so Mama B, what about you? How do you overcome discouragement and just feeling defeated?
So first of all, I'm going to try to stay on track. Okay. I relate those 2 words, doubt and discouragement. What I put in my head when I hear those 2 words is the devil. Doubt and discouragement are just something that comes from the devil, you guys. Look, I'm a Christian and God is everything to me. And I know that, and Heather kind of touched on it also, I know that if I am fighting a battle, then my blessing is right around the corner, because the time the devil's going to show up and beat you up and beat you down and make you feel like you can't do this is right before God has something so amazing for your life. And if you give in, you just let the devil win. If you stay strong and put it in your head, man, that blessing is really coming, because the devil's really battling me right now. I will tell you, the only way you will fail is if you quit. If you quit, game over, you guys. There's like, the only failure is if you quit. And I'm telling you guys, you have to be stronger. I just ordered a picture. I just put it on in my new house down here. I'm going to shout myself out right here. Y'all, I moved from North Carolina to Florida during conference. I didn't even have a place to live. When I say faith over fear, I got in a moving truck, went to a hotel a couple miles from the Amalie Arena. I didn't even have a place to live, but God said, you need to go to Florida. I came. This business allowed me to furnish this whole apartment. This is the first time I've lived on my own since I was graduated high school, y'all. I went from my mommy to being married this is the first time I furnished a place on my, I get off on tangents, Morgan. You're never going to have me come back and talk to your team. Anyway, I only wanted to say that I bought this picture that said faith over fear. If I need to look at that every single day to be a constant reminder, faith over fear, faith over fear. Y'all, you need to sound like a broken record. You need to have that embedded in your head that faith is stronger than any fear you will come across. I don't know what your all's relationship is with God, but I'm going to tell you, you find a closer walk with God and realize that God has put you on this path. The devil cannot defeat you, period. That's how I deal with doubt and discouragement, period. That's it, you guys. I know I serve an amazing God, and he's the best person to go into battle with, you guys. There is no one that you want to put on a suit of armor, you put God on as the suit of armor, and no one is going to defeat you. No one. That's it.
Mic drop. That was so good. Thank you. Thank you for that. And yes, we probably will have you back on, actually. So we are having the best time. We love y'all. Y'all are doing so good. Okay, so whenever you're going for a promotion month, what is the most important thing that you do personally? And what's the most important thing you do with your team? And this can be just like a quick answer. Like, is there something that you do daily for yourself? And then what do you do with your team to really make sure that you get that promotion? Heather, you can go first.
So personally, I say the first thing that you have to do is claim it and believe it's going to happen. The disposition comes before the position. If you are not believing it, if you are not claiming it, you're right. It's not going to happen. Knowing your numbers, looking at your chart every single day, you cannot wake up on today, the 20th. I mean, you could, I guess, I'm sure it's probably happened. But if you are not pulling out your chart on the first of the month and claiming it and saying, I am going ruby this month, I am going diamond this month, whatever rank it is that you're pushing for, you need to pull out that chart on the first, you need to have it ready. You need to know what the target is. You cannot hit a target if you don't know what you're aiming at. And so you need to know your numbers, and you need to be looking at that chart every single day. I would say just get super loud. Go all in. This is when you have that month that comes and you're like, okay, this is it. I'm promoting. There are no ifs, ands, or buts. You just have to go all in. If it means it's not, oh, well, I sent 10 messages today because I get to check that off my list. No, if your goal is to get, 20 host to post up, then you keep going until you get the 20 host to post. You don't just send 20 messages and say, well, I sent 20, check, I'm done. No, you keep going. That's what I mean by all in, that gazelle-like intensity. Set yourself up for success. Like I said, again, talk to your family, let them know, hey, listen, I'm pushing for a promotion this month and I'm going to be a little absent. I'm not going to be maybe going to bed with you when you go to bed, or I might not be sitting down to eat dinner with you at the same time. Now, I'm saying have your moments with your family. I'm not saying I think that's super important too. You need to have designated moments where you put your phone down or where you are with your family, but have that communication with them. And with your team, I would just say, cast vision for your team. Let them know what you guys are fighting for, what value they bring to that. And if it's them going for a promotion, maybe you're helping somebody else in your organization promote, knowing why that promotion is important to them. Like Morgan said, it's not just $500. Is that paying daycare for them? Knowing why they need that promotion so you can help cast that vision for them. Check in with your team every single day, not just knowing where their mindset is. How are they feeling? Checking in with them and making sure they're doing okay. It's not just, hey, did you sign a customer? Hey, did you get a distributor? It's hey, how are you? We are doing this. Keep casting the vision, hold them accountable. And I think that's all I have for that.
No, that's so good. And it's simple. You claim it and know what your team wants. Cast that vision, remind them that they can do this. It's very, very simple, guys, but it just comes down to a decision to do those things. Okay, Mama B, what about you?
You really want me to talk again? Okay, so I can tell you all, look, everything starts with one. And it may not necessarily be that, are you going for a promotion? every day should be like you're going for a promotion, whether it's keeping the rank you're at. It's, you work your business every day like there's a promotion right around the corner. If you do that and you realize it's all done by just, you got to sign that first one. You know, just like reaching an 80-pound weight loss for me, I had to start with one. I had to lose 1 pound before I could lose 80 pounds. And for you to go Ruby, you got to sign 1 distributor before you can sign 3. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't get yourself so bogged down with, oh my God, I need 2,000 volume. You know, it's like, okay, what do I need to sign today? Break it down smaller so your mind, if you can't absorb 2,000 volume that you need to go Ruby, break it down to the point where it's like, well, I can do that. Okay, I can do that. And if there's 4 of us working on this to get this, man, the power of that, of all of us working together to do this. So for me, like I'll give you an example. Last year when I wanted to go triple, for me to go triple, I needed a diamond on my top leg. Well, that leg was a ruby, y'all. But I made up my mind at conference. Y'all, when I went to conference last year, I walked into conference as a diamond. That was in February of 2019. I was a diamond. At the end of February, I went double diamond, earned a $15,000 bonus, and those rank up bonuses were still going on. And 2 months later, I went triple. And when April hit, I told this girl on my team that was a ruby, I said, you need to buckle up because you're going diamond this month. She said, what? She's like, I just went ruby. I'm like, we're having a meeting with your team and you're going diamond this month, because I was going triple. I was ready, and that was the last thing that I needed. I had my chart, just like Heather said, you cannot hit a target if you can't even see it. Go to your eSuite, y'all, document library, print out your charts, y'all. Print out your charts. You can't hit that target unless you can actually see it. So I told my Ruby's team, I told them all, I said, I'm starting this chat. We called it a push chat. And I said, we had 5 days left in the month. It was April 25th. We had 5 days left and we were 4,700 volume for her to go. She had 30-some hundred volume for her to go Ruby. And we had the most promotions like in the team. Like I had distributors. A distributor went to Emerald and Serena went from Ruby to Diamond. I had 2 distributors went from distributor to Ruby, but I got the team involved. We got on such a high. Like we were in that chat. I got one. Where are we at now? Okay, we just got a 25. Where are we at now? We all banded together, one team, one mission. And that's what we did. We worked together and we made it happen. And we were in there like, it's like, well, where are we at? Where are we at? You know, I kept that ongoing tally going with the team and we hit it. And I said, you all realize the work you all did just took this team triple diamond. You all did that. That was such a boost for them, you guys. And understanding, yes, I was going triple, but that meant I had rubies popping, emeralds popping, executives popping. It wasn't about me. It was about this team, and I got them fired up. Can y'all tell I get a little bit excited? And I'm a blue. Ashley seems to tell me I'm a red. I don't know. I just get excited, y'all. I need to take some confianza sometimes. So I'm sorry if I'm scaring y'all. I don't mean to. Anyway, that's mine, Morgan.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I feel like we're very similar. So my team's like, oh yeah, just another day. Yeah, it's totally the same. They're like shaking their heads. No, I'm so excited. Like now I feel like I just want to get off here and like work. Okay. Like I'm like, okay, I got this. I'm going to cast vision. I'm going to decide. I'm going to claim it on social media and I'm just going to pull everybody together. We're just going to do it. And I love that you said it starts with one, like keep it simple. Guys, we overcomplicate things and that's where we mess up. We try to put the cart before the horse. We're like, how can I get to diamond? And I'm like, whoa, let's get your shopping spree, right? And that sounds like funny and it kind of is, but some people like, you can't let your mind get ahead of itself, because then you're going to miss the baby steps that it takes to get there. You have to get your shopping spree and then work on getting distributors so that you can help them do what you just did, right? Because it's not about going diamond. It's about teaching people how to do what you're doing. And you can't do that if you're not doing those small things that seem like they don't matter, okay? Because they do. So I love that you said that. Okay, one last question for both of you, and I'll just combine the last two questions. So what's a good way, like one little tip to bring in last end of the month volume? Because people are shooting for some promotions. Drop in the comments what promotion you're going for this month. Is it ruby? Is it emerald? Is it diamond? Double, tell me. Okay. And then, so what's your best way to bring in volume at the end of the month? And then what's like one last little mindset tip, or like one last little encouragement, like hoorah, you got this. Heather, you can go first.
All right. Well, Mom, I know will bring some fire for month end volume because she gets so creative with these. I take from her. She teaches me how to bring in month end volume, but I basically just wrote down host a post, your face off. Like, you guys, if you are not utilizing host a post, you should be. It is by far like the sole thing that has gotten me the most customers. Host a post, your face off. Do Facebook Lives. If you're not doing Facebook Lives, you need to be on video. There is power behind that. Like my mom said, you know, she was doing Facebook Lives every single morning, making her coffee. If you're using the products, and if you're not on Facebook Live, maybe you're in your stories. Like, you should be on video every single day, and you're doing the thing anyway. It's not taking you any extra time to just prop your phone up and hit record while you're doing it. And then Mom, I'll let you touch on this because I know this is kind of your niche, but finding a creative bundle to promote and work with the numbers. I know that we've done that, like maybe in the last 2 days. If there's not a promotion going on within the company, we'll use like the I'm ready for more or the I'm all in package. And we'll kind of break it down with numbers. You know, what does that retail for, and how can we promote this that it's $367 in savings or whatever that looks like for 48 hours, or just getting creative, I think. And you can always, you know, do an incentive. Maybe I don't know if your team does like a giveaway for incentives or anything like that, but we've been known to do some of those things as well.
No, I love that. And can I be honest? You were like, do host a post. I was like, yes, host a post. Yes, I do that. And then you're like, go live. And I was like, ugh, I should probably do that.
Well, listen, I will tell you that so I've had like a flip. I used to do Facebook Lives. Like, I get my memories every single day. And for the last 2 years, like every day, it's like Facebook Live, Facebook Live, Facebook Live. I'm not doing Facebook Lives as often now, but I also wasn't utilizing, I don't even know if we had stories on social media then, but now I'm in my stories all day long. Like, I'm sharing the product, I'm sharing the meetings, I'm sharing just my day to day, my afternoon walk, I'm sharing our cat. Like, I'm taking people through my day with me. And that for me has brought the same momentum, if not more, because then you have those features like polls and questions where on a Facebook Live, you can't necessarily do that. And so I have transferred a little bit more into stories, but I think just as long as you're on video some way, shape, or form, it does help people to know, like, and trust you, and people partner with and buy from people they know, like, and trust.
I 100% agree. Absolutely. So yes, okay, that's so good. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate you being on here. Those were just like fire tips, and I have Facebook statuses for the next like 2.5 weeks.
Oh wait, was I supposed to drop my last encouragement tip too? Okay.
Yes.
Let me do that really quick. So I was just gonna say, you guys, like right now in the time that we are walking through, like, we have so much at our fingertips right now. If you guys did not hear Mark's announcement, like over 100,000 customers have enrolled so far this month. You guys, volume is through the roof. Like, people are running to this opportunity as a business with open arms when maybe before they would have turned their heads. You have so much at your fingertips right now, but it is 100% up to you. Don't wake up in 3 months or 6 months when all of this is over and look back and say, man, I wish I would have done more. Some of you guys might have been affected with your job. Some of you guys might be home right now where normally you would be at a job, and my heart goes out to you. But take this time to grow your business. Don't look back and wish you had done more. You guys, like, business is booming, and you get paid to help people. People need help right now. but it's 100% up to you. So if you guys are going to wake up tomorrow morning and give it 110%, like drop a 3 in the comments. I hope to see that blow up, but I'm so excited for you guys. You all have an amazing team. Morgan is absolutely amazing leader. I know that you guys probably have a team of amazing leaders, and lean on your people. Don't ever try to do it alone. Like, it is one team, one mission. And I know that all of you guys together, if you lock arms, amazing things are going to happen. That's it.
Thank you. That's so good. One thing that you said reminded me of what Mike always says. He is our chief sales officer. He always says, you're either going to look back and say, I wish I had, or I'm glad I did. And you, what did you say? Your decision is totally up to you, or you are entirely up to you, or something like that? One more time, say it again.
Oh, hold on. Am I okay, there we go. I honestly don't know. I don't know what I said.
Something like you were entirely.
Listen, I am a true blue. I am so squirrely and flighty. Things just come out of my mouth. I can be over here 1 minute, over there the next minute. I honestly can't remember.
It was something like your decision is completely up to you. Something like that.
Yeah, it's 100% up to you. Like, you either decide, like, I mean, exactly what Mike said. Like, you either make the decision to do it, or you're going to look back and regret that you didn't.
Right.
I probably said it way better the first time. See, now you just threw me off.
You're good. And 3 blues trying to lead the Zoom were like, wait, what did you say? Oh, that was really good. Wait, what happened? What was the question?
This is why I have to come with notes, because I would have been all over the place. Thank
No,
you for my notes. Let me see. I just said, don't look back when this ends and wish you had done more. Is in my notes. I probably said it different. Moving on, Mom. Close it out. Kill it. I know you will.
all right, Mama B, close us out.
Okay, so Heather kind of brought up, as far as bringing in month-end volume, you just get creative, you guys. I mean, we're in quarantine right now, so, you know, some of the things I used to do, when quarantine breaks, y'all, I'm gonna get my nails done. I'm gonna be sitting in pedicure chairs. I'm gonna be being loud on a phone call with one of my diamond leaders. Someone's gonna think they're a customer of mine. I'm gonna have my diamond leader on a speakerphone saying, girl, did you get your skinny coffee? And we're going to be having a conversation that all those people that are sitting in pedicure chairs are going to be overhearing this woman saying, I'm down 20 pounds. I'm saying, yeah, I'm down 80 pounds from drinking this skinny coffee. Y'all, every single person that's in those pedicure chairs, y'all, women eavesdrop. I'm sorry, y'all. I've lived 58 years. I'm a lot older than y'all. Women are nosy. Women want to know what you're doing. And when I do those phone calls, they're not fake, they're real phone calls. I mean, maybe every now and I've made a fake phone call and hope that my phone doesn't ring while I'm making my fake phone call. Anyway, but you've got to like come up with inventive ways to let people hear what you're doing. And I know in quarantine, there's no one here for me to talk to but me, myself, and I. But when I can get back out there, y'all, I'm gonna go into hair salons, I'm gonna go into dressing rooms, I'm gonna pick up the phone in a dressing room, I'm gonna call my daughter and I'm gonna say, Heather, I'm down again. I was a 22. I'm in a 14 now. Man, I'm so glad you got me drinking this skinny coffee. Y'all, I see that woman in the dressing room next to me, wiggling them feet, trying to put them jeans on that butt that she knows they don't fit her, but she's gonna try to wiggle and get her butt in them jeans. That's me. So I know that she's listening to me talking to Heather on the phone, talking about my skinny coffee, and I've lost so much weight. Y'all, they followed me out of dressing rooms. They asked Heather, they have followed me into the parking lot to find out my information. You gotta get loud. And I'm just gonna leave you with one last thing for encouragement, okay? I'm gonna get a little serious on y'all right now. You have to believe in these products and you have to believe in this company. Because I'm gonna tell you, people can spot a fraud. If you don't speak, I don't need this piece of paper to talk to you guys. When I spoke in Amalie Arena, I didn't need a piece of paper to share what's in here. When you share what's on your heart and you believe it, when you believe what this company has to offer and the lives it can change and the products, how they can make people healthier, nothing will shut you up. Nothing, not a no, nothing will stop you because you have it in here. Until you get it in here, you're not going to have it up here and it's not going to come out of here. People can spot a fraud. The reason people follow me, just like Heather said, they know me, they like me, they trust me. You have to develop that with people. It is earned. It is not just given. You have to earn that, you guys. And I'm going to tell you, when you can start believing in yourself and you know you have the absolute power in your hands to change a person's life, you will talk to every single person that crosses your path. Because when I walked off that stage at Amalie Arena, I'm going to leave y'all. This is my final thought. I walked off that stage at Amalie Arena. Was it exhilarating hearing people clap for me and applaud for me? One lady came up to me. Lots of people came up to me afterwards. You know, the one woman I remember was the woman that came up and she hugged me and she whispered in my ear, I needed to hear you today because I was going to kill myself tonight. That was the one person that God meant for me to talk to that night. That day on the stage, she was the one person that I was meant to reach. Not anyone else in that arena. It was that one woman. That's what I want to leave y'all with. Someone needs to hear you. You need to reach a life out there that is hurting right now, you guys. So many people, suicide rates are up and they're through the roof, you guys. People don't know where they're going to turn to get their next meal. You have a way to save people right now. Don't act like someone's banker and say, but they can't afford it. It is not up to you to decide whether they can afford it. It is up to you to offer the opportunity, because that's what's important. Don't be someone's banker. That's not your job. Your job is to offer the opportunity and let them make the decision. And that's it, you guys. And I wish you all so much success, and pray for Heather and I. You know, I'm so glad that I'm in this business with my daughter, and I am so proud of the woman that she is. She inspires her mama every single day.
Aw, that's so sweet. Thank you so much for doing this, guys. Like, I'm gonna stop the recording, but